starting out this Dragon.
Yeah, they didn't even have to clear it out, essentially, just because the prep from Uzi and Xiaohu was so well done, pushing into both mid and bottom lane wave, that there's nothing Snake could even do about it. They challenged at that position, they would have just lost the team fight.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you were talking about, Raz. RNG able to attack this bottom side. Even though it hasn't led to more objectives like kills in the bottom lane or taking down the turret just yet, they've been chipping away at it to get the neutral objective. Dragon's taken down, which is what I wanted to ask you earlier. If Snake can't defend this bottom lane, if they can't protect Jin as well as Tahm Kench, do they attack that top side, and how? Because Flandre's been sitting on an island. He has a nice CS lead for himself, but nothing much has come out of that.
They would have to take a risk with the Galio. If he's getting pushed in, he would have to just say, okay, I'm going to lose a bit of CS, but I need to look towards the top lane dive immediately, and maybe look for a trade, because RNG would want to look to dogpile bottom side of the map, but you're already getting Fiora ahead, so that's a strategy that they would want for themselves.
Well, SFM is charging into the mid lane, looking to lock down Xiaohu. Ghost is being used by Swain, and Guoguo is dashing out. MLXG again, he's close by, ready for the counter gank. Pops the Predator, but Xiaohu's second charge of the ultimate's not going to work this time around.
They just keep trying a gank onto Xiaohu every single time he has 5 fully stacked soul fragments, so they know they're not going to get a kill. They're just hoping that it turns into something. Sure, they get their ghost, but Xiaohu still has flash. He's still taking a lot of pressure. The only thing Snake is doing is elongating that time where a bottom lane dive ends up happening.
It's making sure they relieve some pressure from Crystal as well as Hoodia, making sure MOC's occupied, making sure Xiaohu's occupied. Not only does it help Crystal and Hoodia, but Flandre gets slightly unlocked as well. Every single time a wave crashes underneath this turret, he gets a couple of auto attacks, slowly chipping away, slowly fighting against RNG's bottom lane to pick up first turret.
That forces MLXG's hands within the next 2 waves to do something about it. Because Oran's not going to be able to deal with that wave coming into his tower unless he's going to get a few bops to the head by Flandre. So right now, if you let me, you're calling on your jungler to do something. Either you come top lane and get a gank going for yourself, or you go bottom lane and allow me to TP. Right now, let me's in dire situations.
Does that mean SOFM's making the right plays here by keeping the focus in that middle lane? Making sure that MLXG's forced. He can't get bottom side going well. He can't get top side pushing back in Let Me's favor. He has to stay mid lane to protect Xiaohu.
Yeah, SOFM right now, point of defense and strength comes through mid lane just because strength, he needs the Galio unlocked so he can make a play happen. If that's an opening, then go for it. Or defense, of course, so he wants to keep Xiaohu, as you mentioned, in the mid lane. So right now, all of Snake's effort needs to be pooled in the mid lane. If they can get Tahm Kench roaming and getting wards across for the Galio, then that's a benefit, but his hands have been tied in the bottom lane too.
Well, he's tracking him again, spots him out top side of map, takes Scuttle Crab for himself as well. Let Me is now holding the wave off his turret quite nicely. So that should buy some time before Flandre can take down that turret. But bottom lane, Uzi's pushing in relentlessly. Another ultimate being thrown out, looking to try and force this wave in towards the turret again. Poke damage onto both Hootia as well as Crystal.
This is interesting. The fact that Flandre hasn't based as well, he doesn't want to necessarily use TP unless if a bottom lane play happens. Xiaohu's getting looked at again.
Taunt connects, they get some damage onto Xiaohu, but again, look who's right behind. It's MLXG, pulling back Guoguo once more, forced to use his ultimate to try and jump out of this fight, but it doesn't go too far at all. MLXG throws another axe, picks up that kill, now takes that SOFM, he flashes into it, Swain rips him back, MLXG survives as well, and it's a double kill for Olaf.
With just single-digit HP as well, the fact that they go in for the fight, Xiaohu must feel heavily disrespected the side of Snake. That's the 3rd, 4th gank that they look for him. They're not going to get the kill. This time they get punished heavily for it.
Force after force in this mid lane. It's only kept Xiaohu occupied. It's never looked like it's going to trouble him at all, Raz. And I'm actually, yes, he's not been able to help the top side. He's not been able to help the bottom side. But those counter ganks that allowed first turret for RNG in the mid lane picked up by Xiaohu.
And the worst thing about it, too, is Guoguo tried to use his ulti to get out of that situation. But of course, if he's in Ragnarok, MLXG is not impacted by it, so he's able to chase him down. 3 kills for himself means that he's just going to keep going. Now, look at this. I don't understand what the game plan is. Look how far of a reach for Guoguo to even get the taunt ready. Look how close Xiaohu was to his own turret. So this seems like a little bit of desperation coming out of Snake, because in no way or in comms are you thinking that's going to result in a summoner spell, let alone a kill.
Well, there's 2 kills being picked up here by RNG. They can take down the mid lane out of turret as well. Top lane finally falls for Snake, but at the same time, bottom lane was taken down by RNG.
Yeah,
2-1 in favor of RNG and turrets.
That bottom lane tower being taken down had to happen. Crystal had to move away from it. The fact that that mid lane wave got pushed into the 2nd turret in favor of RNG meant that Xiaohu was just going to look for a dive bottom lane. So, at the very least, Snake could look towards their top line and saying that Flandre is doing well for himself. but I do not see a new strategy for Flandre.
But that's all they have left. They have a 35 CS lead on Flandre top center map. He's taken down Letme's turret, but that's it really. I mean, SOFM, he had a CS lead over MLXG. That's nullified by the 3 kills and the assist that's been picked up by MLXG. Xiaohu now, a kill, 3 assists, taking down mid lane out turret. Uzi as well as Ming, we were talking about them the whole game. They are already ahead. Snake only have 1 player left in this match that's ahead of RNG.
Yeah, 1 player, 1 strategy. Right now, RNG could look for skirmishes, get deeper vision with control wards, even just decide to play it lame and look for the neutral objectives of the Infernal Dragon coming up in 30 seconds and the Rift Herald that's already up and available. So right now, RNG have a plethora of options. Meanwhile, Snake, they need to find, I would say at least pick potential. If Jin finds that one since he has Rapid Fire Cannon available to himself, if he can get Xiaohu, maybe Ming, and try and get a kill off of that, then that's valuable. I just don't see who they have follow-up for the Jin pick, because Galio is not going to be able to get anything across unless if he has some meaningful AP, and he doesn't. He has magic resist more so. So I don't see where the point of damage is if it's not from the Jin.
Still sitting on 2 items, matched by Uzi at the moment. He's going for Trinity Force build on Ezreal as well, not picking up the Iceborne Gauntlet. And Mana Meme fully stacked up, complete. That's now a Mirror Mana. Infernal Dragon going to be picked up as well by RNG. Second elemental of the game. Next one to spawn is going to be another Ocean Dragon. And Snake are trying to throw his way towards the top side of map as well. We're pushing this in towards the top lane in the turret. Flandre just hiding in Fog of War in the bottom lane at the moment.
Yeah, this is a good formation from Snake just to look for a mid lane pressure, I would say. Being pushing that top lane in incredibly so, like 2 waves, I would say. And then having Galio push out mid-wave means that they wanted to put in deeper wards in blue side jungle. It didn't happen. Don't think that SOFM had the wards available for himself. But that's just a strategy that you would want to see coming out of Snake. Just because there's nothing else they can take on the map. They can't take the top lane inner tower. Bottom lane, they want Fiora to go for herself. So they want a strategy so they can look to chip at the mid lane tower.
RNG is going to match those formations though. Uzi as well as Ming get thrown towards top side of the map. They're going to push back in against Crystal as well as Hudia. Latme's happy to farm against Fiora at the moment. Has the Frozen Heart complete. Ninja Tabi complete as well. So has decent items to go toe-to-toe for now.
Look at the damage.
So much damage coming out from Uzi. MLXG's on the top side of the map as well. He fancies his chances for a dive. Undertow doesn't connect. SLFM is slowly rotating up towards the top side of the map.
And now Swain's starting to move. Xiaohu has been pushing out that lane for so long. He just wants to clear out the vision so he can be able to move top lane while completely hidden.
There you go. RNG forced him off of that turret. Xiaohu threatens to move up, doesn't even have to get to that top lane. Another turret's going to be broken by RNG. The map is in their control at the moment.
Take a look at that. The fact that Jin can't do much at all. He needs to be at his turret at all times to receive the minion wave and to see if he can set up for any play.
Uzi is so aggressive. He's been free to Arcane Shift forward against 3 members of Snake. And he's not afraid.
He's spiked. Right now, RNG have a great mid-game composition. All he really needs for himself is the Blade of the Rune King, so he can just start in for those kind of poke opportunities. So right now, Uzi is as aggressive he's ever going to be unless he gets Blade. Meanwhile, Xiaohu getting Zhonya's for himself means that he can look to be a lot more aggressive. He can be a secondary like pseudo tank. So RNG can decide to play a lot more forward.
We have to give credit to Lightme in the bottom lane here, because he's been holding his own against Flandre. Now he's finally going to get some help from Xiaohu. Ghost is being used the ultimate. Ornn's ultimate gets used as well. Can they lock him down? Riposte is there. Gets pulled back by Xiaohu, however. So much damage is coming out from the bird, and it is the word as well. Xiaohu with the kill, helping out Lightme in the bottom lane.
Of course, use his Ghost as well, so he can chase down Fiora. It's going to be rough. I mean, right now, Snake needs to find something, or else they're going to get completely pushed out of the map.
Well, Uzi's just arcane shifted on top of Crystal as well as Hudia, looking to lock him down. Good damage coming out from Uzi. Gets healed up by Karma as well. Happy to continue playing this far up. Happy to continue putting a lot of pressure on the Crystal as well, making sure that he's always forced back to base.
Yeah, and you know what? At this point, audience can see it coming from a mile away. The fact that Snake lost their only point of strength in the bottom lane, in terms of Fiora split pushing bottom lane, their only win condition, I'm going to be blunt, has to be around the Baron game. They need to look for a Baron fight. They need to look for a steal. That's how desperate it's becoming, because at first you're like, okay, maybe Jin could find him a pick, but he's getting poked out consistently by an Ezreal who's not going to stay in place, so it's hard to ever get I would say, to pin him down. So it's completely rough from Snake because at this point they're looking for a Hail Mary.
Looking for that Hail Mary play against the odds, Raz. You were talking about it, that Baron buff is probably the last point that Snake can contest at the moment. But RNG are the one with the on as their split pusher. They're the ones with the team fighting composition. Snake were the one who wanted to split apart the map.
That's true. I mean, they just have to pray on the fact that there's this mage support on the map. They can't nail down Uzi because, obvious reasons, he has his E, unless if he makes a massive error. Can't go on to Xiaohu because that's a bait. He has Zhonya's. He's incredibly tanky. He can start the fight well just going into ulti. Can't do MLXG because he's literally Olaf with ulti. So they need to go on to Ming, and that's their only option.
But MLXG has other ideas, looking to try and collapse onto Guoguo in the mid lane, forces Flash out of the Galio. RNG now try to siege mid lane in a turret, and that's going to be taken down nice and easy. One small play from their jungler leads to a massive objective.
And that's enough for RNG to just focus towards Baron Vision now. Being able to push in an extra wave onto inhibitor turret, and now force Snake to go across, I would say, 3 major points of lacking vision, just so they can place a ward onto Baron. That's enough for RNG to force a real fight.
They even allow MLXG to go back to base. Picks up his support item, so you have a couple of wards once that quest is complete later on in the match. It'll take some time to charge that up.
Yeah, I would like Xiaohu to get a control ward for himself. That's all I'm asking for at this point. Sure, you have 2 points of control wards with
he doesn't need a control ward when he does stuff like that though, Raz. Locks down the AD carry from Snake, goes into bird form. Hoodia trying to run away, but the undertow constantly connecting against Crystal. Galio's jumping in, that's another rip back as well as the ultimate pops. Hoodia's in massive trouble as well. Forced to flash away. Snake loses the AD carry, and he pulls back Guoguo. The little tiger is a monster at the moment, locking down Snake member after Snake member. 2 kills picked up by Snake.
I can't believe it. They're just going to push it in, honestly. They're not going about Baron anymore. They want this inhibitor.
Flandre's still
4 seconds on Crystal's death timer.
And Flandre's still split pushing. Letme's not allowing Flandre to go back to base, or Flandre just wants this turret for some reason. Inhibitor gets taken down 26 minutes into the match.
That was just a crucial error from Crystal. End of the day, he gets picked off. And sure, Tahm Kench could try and carry you to safety, but that's a long road back to your inhibitor turrets. So RNG is just finding them, trying to push out way too far from their own base, and they're punching them.
He said the last point of contest for Snake could probably be that Baron. At this point, it doesn't even look like that's going to save them at the moment. They could probably get a steal, and even if they win a team fight over it, I don't think they're back in the game just yet. But Xiao is just being clutch with all of these pullbacks.
Yeah. Of course, Z goes straight through minions, so you have to be available or at least aware of it. And sure, you have Tahm Kench behind you, so most AD carries are willing to play a little bit more aggressively, but not in that situation, not with how far away from you are from your own tower. So that was just incredibly worrying from Crystal to get his team caught out.
Yeah, follow-up onto Guoguo as well. So well played by the mid laner and looking for another opportunity to go for MVP. 3 games that RNG have played in playoffs, and perhaps Xiaohu could win all 3 of the MVPs if he continues with this performance. At this state, though, 8-1 in kills, 51,000 of 44,000 gold in RNG's favor.
Yep, I mean, it's looking possible. The fact that Uzi got that bottom lane gank, mirroring what Xiaohu did much earlier on, he's trying to vie for that MVP for himself too. So I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's a fight happening. Right now, it's not Snake in that fight. It's just between Uzi and Xiaohu to get that MVP.
Snake trying to find another way back into this match, but everything they've tried so far hasn't worked out. Slowly clearing the vision that was placed down by RNG against the Baron pit. Xiaohu has a deep flank though. Hoodia doesn't have his ultimate available, can now actually stop him.
Could have actually stopped him.
Does not though. Hoodia is able to get away. I was meant to say he does not have his flash available, but he uses his ultimate to get away.
Yeah, MLXG just tossed an axe. That would have been good enough. Any bit of damage cancels him out. And honestly, his animation, even though he's not above ground, it's still there for a few frames, so it's possible.
Now they're just sieging top lane in a turret. They put a control ward in range of that turret as well. That's all firm as well as Xiao sending his whole wards to the end of the nail up there. The root pulls him back. There is a blast cone there and sends him deeper into his jungle. Uzi flashing forward as well. That's going to be a dead SWFM. RNG find a pick.
That's their zone. That's their territory. At this point, Snake has to recognize that if they want to get to these towers, they have to walk down the lane. Yahoo doing an incredible job working around the control wars they have for themselves.
RNG don't need Baron, Raz. They're just going to continue pushing through. Top lane, inner turret's taken down. Flandre is finally taken down. Bottom lane, outer turret. Second turret for Snake in this match. But it's not looking good for the Fiora split pushing at the moment because RNG are just collapsing onto the rest of Snake's lineup.
Even sending in an Azrael ulti, so it's just that cannon wave that's going to be holding up the inhibitor tower. So RNG can just keep going. Wonder if they just stop at this inhibitor.
Take top lane inhibitor. Probably going to back out from that as well after clearing the waves. Flandre does take down the bottom lane inner turret as well. So matching turret for turret in trades. But still, an inhibitor falling for Snake, the second one in this match.
Yeah, so it's not meaningful enough when it comes to map pressure. Right now, 2 inhibitors for RNG means that, sure, they don't need Baron, but it's just an easy grab for them with or at least super minion waves crashing on both top and mid lane. RNG will just want to pick for it, unless if they want a bloody game. Then they can just decide to sit in red side jungle and have Snake push up on them, unless if the inhibitor, or at least the minions, are in the base of Snake.
Still going to have Flandre split pushing though. 3 items picked up by Fiora. I mean, Letme's got 4.5 tank items for himself, so he's pretty happy to go toe-to-toe for now. We say that this is the top laner in the LPL that has the highest damage share for a team. So far hasn't been able to contribute too much to that in actual team fights. It's been all beating down on a tank in the top lane.
And that's always been Snake's struggle when they get in playoffs. They haven't gone far when they've utilized a top lane heavy style. Not a lot of teams have, and it's just because it takes a lot to get a top laner rolling.
Well, they're rotating everyone down to the bottom lane. They give up on Baron control because you know what? If they can kill Flandre, it doesn't matter. That's the last lane that RNG have to push at the moment. Snake are trying to collapse. Flandre is going forward against Letme. Gorkwar's jumping into the fight. They might be able to take down RNG's top lane. The massive tank should fall here. Snake, they're not going to be able to get the first kill yet because stopwatch is being used by Letme. Gorkwar finally picks it up, but a double kill is matched by Xiaohu. Uzi picks one up for himself as well, and everyone from Snake that collapsed finally falls. Only SOFM left to defend the base.
You have to expect this to be the final march of RNG straight towards the base. I don't know what SOFM's doing other than just talking to a team and talking about the next game, because this really is just about game 2 at this point.
Well, there's nothing much he can do. He missed the train to get into the bottom lane with Hoodia, and now Xiaohu's teleported into the lane as well, looking to collapse. RNG are looking for the ace before they march towards the Nexus. Zonya's being used as well by Xiaohu to deny the turret aggro, and they're pushing for the win.
Pad the stats, pad the stats. All right, so RNG getting the win on this one, and that's a dominating start to a best of 5.
Dominating start, they go 1-up over Snake.
Oh, all right. Not much to talk about in that one, just because RNG made it clean. Bottom lane, even though they lost Flash on Uzi really early on, just didn't matter. It was so difficult for SOFM to ever find any point to just kind of impact that lane.
Yeah, it was Clash of the Madmen in the jungle, Raz.
That's true.
The early invade coming out from LXG was a bit of an LXD there, but then he finds one back, catching SOFM taking away small Raptors.
Yeah.
At level 2.
Just leave him. Let it go. And the fact that he didn't just meant that Predator was unlocked so early on from LXG.
Ionian Boots Rush.
I like that.
Very early.
Ionian Boots is great for an Olaf. It strengthens your clear, lower cooldown reduction.